Okie dokie, here we go. Bar models, we're still adding and subtracting. It's just a way to visualize, and it can be really helpful with certain types of story problems. Okay, so say I got a problem where we know the two parts. We know one of the parts is 3 and 65/100, and the other part is 3 and 1/10. Maybe it's money that they have, and we're combining the money to see how much the total is. Because if we know both of the parts, we can add those together to get the whole. Okay, so I can go over here, I can say 3 and 65/100. Using the rules we know about adding, put a 0, 5, 7, and 6. So we know our whole is going to be 6 and 75/100. Now, I could take 6 and 75/100. I could take my whole and subtract either part, and it would give me the other part. So say I subtracted 3 and 1/10, I would get 3 and 65/100. I could reverse those, and I would get the other answer. So we had a word problem like this, where we knew the number of baseball cards that one person had. We knew the total number, so we had to find the missing part, which we'll do an example like that. But if I ever have a missing part, then I can subtract to find that missing part. Okay? You don't have to write. Well, I'll show you on the next one what I mean. All right. So say we got the whole, and I had 12 and 6/10 is my whole. Maybe it's like how fast two people ran the race, like their times combined. And I know that one of them got 9 and 6/72, so I want to know this missing part. Well, because I know part plus the other part equals the whole, I know that if I take the whole and subtract a part, I get the other part. So I could do 12 and 6/10 minus 9 and 72/100 to find my missing part. Okay, put a 0. Go next door. I have to borrow because I can't do 0 minus 2. That becomes 5. That becomes 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 5 minus 7 I can't do, so I need to go borrow. So borrowing on this one, that becomes 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. Bring down my decimal. I can do that in the middle or at the end, either way. 1 minus 9 I can't do, but if I look, I do have a 1 and a 1, so it's like 11. So 11 minus 9 is 2. So I know this missing part is 2 and 88/100. So again, two people running a race. They're like, sometimes in some races you add the different scores together to get their whole score. So if I knew their whole time was 12 and 6/10, one of the races was 9 and 72/100. What was the other race? Well, the other race was 2 and 88/100. Because I know if I take the whole and I subtract a part, I get the other part. That's how it works. We'll do one more. If I have one part is, it's really small, so I'm going to write it over here, 6 and 5/100. Here I have 38 and 9/10 is my whole. Well, how can I figure out the missing part? Because I want to know 6 and 5/100 plus something is going to equal 38 and 9/10. Well, I know that if I do 38 and 9/10 minus the part I have, then I'll get my missing part. Because remember, part plus part equals whole. Whole minus one of the parts equals the other part. So I'm just subtract to figure it out. 38 and 9/10 minus 6 and 5/100. Can't do it as of now. What do I have to do? Add a 0. 0 minus 5 I can't do. Go next door and borrow. That becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 8 minus 0 is 8. 8 minus 6 is 2 and 3. Bring my decimal straight down. My missing part is 32 and 85/100. Which really Makes sense, right? 32 and 85/100 plus 6, like 32 or 33 plus 6 is going to be about 38 or 39. So that makes sense. If I accidentally added and I figured out that my part was 40 something, well, that doesn't make sense because 6 plus 40 something is not going to get me 38, 9/10. So looking at it and thinking about if it makes sense can help me determine if I did the right operation if I am not sure. If you're still having a hard time with the adding or subtracting, let me know. If the part whole is confusing to you, let me know. Make sure you are writing it down somewhere, not just trying to do it in your head and not using a calculator. You got this.